Today I'm platinuming Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time. 37 trophies, 30 hours, 2 playthroughs. Let's get it. Stage 1 begins and that's just completing the game on the hardest difficulty. Don't ask me what's happened between games, I don't know. But I do know that Dr. Nefarious is the big bad. The game begins with a Clank section and I run as fast as my little metal legs can carry me, but Clank gets captured and I get a trophy for completing the first Clank level. Meanwhile, Ratchet is stuck with Captain Quark, the poor guy. I crash land and learn how to play a Ratchet & Clank game for the 6th time in 6 weeks, earn the first of many gold bolts, the first of a few Constructo Mods, fight through some plot exposition and get this jar for a trophy. I also need to capture all these robo-bugs known as Zonis, and if you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of collectibles, you'd be right. Turns out Nefarious's personal assassin, Lord Vorselon, is headhunting another Lombax named Azimuth, who he mistakes Ratchet for. Quark is about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
You win again, technology.
I blast my way to safety in glorious 60 frames a second. These little bug-eyed beauties help repair the ship. I infiltrate Vorselon's warship and collect my 10,000th bolt for a trophy. I also get the first holoplan for the RYNO 5. Yay, more collectibles. Rescue everyone with the power of unspeakable violence and Mr. Zircon, the greatest weapon in Ratchet & Clank history, not named the RYNO.
Mr. Zircon requires no nanotacticism. Mr. Zircon lives.
And proceed to spank Lord Vorselon so hard that he's forced to quit while he's ahead. Get it? Ahead? Because, you know. After doing some Super Mario Galaxy style shenanigans for fun, profit, collectibles and future trophies, it's time to go back to the tiny robot. Sigmund explains that he's at the great clock responsible for the stability of time, and Nefarious may or may not have done a few whoopsies. Clank also has a digital parasite, imprint in his motherboard of Orvus, leader of the Zonis, Clank's true creator, not that factory in Ratchet & Clank 1, no. And unbeknownst to our hero, missing. There's also these temporal recording puzzles where I had to make multiple versions of Clank to solve conundrums that required things to be done at the same time to progress through rooms. They start off pretty easy, but later on some of these are stupidly tough, and yes, I'll have to do them all because, you know, trophy hunting. After teaching the bad doctor's hypersonic brainwave scrambler a lesson in manners with the help of time manipulation, Clank gets a promotion. Back to Ratchet, and after some more silly side quests, I earn my 50,000th bolt for another currency related trophy. I land on a new planet and after some different but much simpler puzzles, find Azimuth, stop him from blowing us up, and, you know, we get along in the end. He claims that the Obsidian Eye will help Ratchet contact Clank on the Great Clock. There's no ulterior motive here, no, don't worry about it. After some technical difficulties, I master using the hover boots for a trophy, and the furry duo cause a truck ton of havoc in Axiom City, then proceeds to break into a factory and indiscriminately mow down enemies who have slightly different opinions to us. As the next boss battle threatens to break out, I upgraded a weapon, my trusty Mr. Zircon, to level 5 for the first time for Fastoon Warrior. After a fascinating laser show, a little bit of glass smashing, and a fair bit of dying because 1, hardest difficulty, and 2, I'm bad at video games, the massive flying saucer finally goes down, I escape, and all I got was this bronze trophy. There's a brief insight into Doc's incredible big Riz energy. Clank helps destroy some time anomalies with the power of lasers, gets promoted to senior caretaker, and learns the truth of Orvus's whereabouts, or lack of. No time to worry about that though. Bachelorette number 1 is challenging Ratchet to a space battle. What she doesn't know is that Ratchet goes through girls faster than I earn platinums. Once a week baby, 9 AM every Monday. Then it was time for the patented Ratchet & Clank arena battles. There's 4 tournaments in total I'll need to take down, and doing the first one saves Quark and earns another trophy. I'll be coming back here later and it's gonna break me, but not for the reasons you'd expect. On Lumos, I run into the deadliest thing I've ever encountered in Ratchet & Clank, Tetramites. To this day, I still don't know how to do this one specific section without getting incredibly lucky, so if someone could enlighten me in the comments below on what I'm supposed to do, then that would be great. Anyways, Azimuth confesses that he may or may not have accidentally sold secrets to the Lombax's enemy, which may or may not have resulted in a tiny bit of genocide, and now he wants to correct his mistake with the Great Clock. After that shocking revelation, I blow up a bunch of red guys on purple things, and mechanical hydras, and take down an entire aerial armada without realizing there's a homing missile function on the turret. Whoops. The furry duo get the obsidian eye, trophy goes ding, and I finally manage to talk to Clank, who begs Ratchet to rescue his metal daddy. Ratchet uses the magic of time travel, blowing up enemies with extreme prejudice and radical grinding to try and save Orvus, during which I get my 250,000th bolt for yet another bolt earning trophy. Operation Save Orvus fails miserably, and to make matters worse, Azimuth stupidly gets himself captured by Vorselon. But I got a trophy, so hooray! So it's time for yet another rescue mission. I'm sensing a theme here. Vorselon wants a rematch, he gets a rematch, which I win through the power of Mr. Zircon and Ninja Stars. Azimuth is super thankful and definitely not being an ungrateful bitch about all this, but I get a trophy, so all is forgiven. After failed attempt to escape the last part of the warship, I discovered the incredible power of reading, and eventually realized that holding down L1 solves about 90% of my problems with this section. Yes, I'm a dumbass, please don't click off the video, like it instead, great for the algorithm. Clank continues to clone himself, hit things with his rhythm stick, and zap Christmas lights. Oh look, the plumber's back, and he's leaving cryptic clues, great. One pop culture reference later,
plumbers don't just go diving down strange pipes all willy-nilly. That'd be ridiculous.
Clank unlocks the Orvus chamber, but everyone's favourite British butler, no, not that one. Not that one either. Yeah, this one. Comes along and ruins everything. But again, trophy. Hooray! Ratchet and Azimuth get a distress signal, which turns out to be a big fat phony. But this isn't God of War, so these Valkyries aren't going to step on me. Then it's time for Big Bad Bertha. Thanks to some rockets to the face, buzz blades to the body, and nets to the nuts, she meets the same fate as Bachelorette number 1. I think Bachelorette number 2 died at some point? Dunno. Ratchet and Clank finally reunite, where Clank says, don't use the Great Clock. And Azimuth is like, I wanna! Ratchet says no, so the big boy has another strop like he's not a grizzled war veteran and stomps off. But again, trophy. At Nefarious' space station, I purchase a new pet, Fred, to earn the trophy for collecting all the weapons. Quark burns my retinas, and he has another genius plan. But, unlike Up Your Arsenal, this plan actually goes very well. Finally, Quark gets something right. It's only taken 6 games. Then, after dealing with wave, after wave, after wave, wait, you get the idea, and some sabotage, I grab a trophy for destroying the Armada. The second best Dr. N in gaming history does the cliche, I'm the evil villain and I'm on top and therefore I'm going to tell you my evil plan now thing. And then it was time to use the power of the time warp to save one more civilization from certain destruction by zapping another invading civ to death. I rip some heads off some hydras, I shove some rockets and other weapons up the leader's arsenal, he goes crying like a baby, and the day is saved. I take the opportunity to earn a bit more pocket money and went round and completed all the space missions. Time to take down the rest of the arena stuff with my upgraded weapons and elite gamer skills. And to be completely honest, this wasn't a challenge in the slightest. I completed the silver and gold cups, and the 5th and final Raritanium challenge is 20 rounds of pure carnage and limited ammo. So how many attempts do you think this took me? 5? 10? 15? 2. Yeah, one of my better gaming moments has got to be said. It's time to finally stare and take down Dr. Nefarious once and for all. So after doing the final arena challenge on the second attempt, how many did it take me to beat Nefarious? 1? 2? 3? 26. Yeah, I found this fight super tough. I was being exposed as a gaming fraud repeatedly. If the combat wasn't ending me, the hoverboot sections were. I kept dying to everything like an absolute chud. Eventually though, through pig-headed determination, more than generous checkpoints, and running round in circles repeatedly, I took him down once and for all. Take that, robo-nerd. Azimuth turns to the dark side because something dark side, something complete. Ratchet dies, and I somehow in all this get a trophy for collecting my 1,000,000th bolt. Clank turns back time 6 minutes to save Ratchet and not overclock the, well, clock. I fall off the chase sequence more times than I care to admit, and then it's time for the final battle. Lombax versus Lombax, and this was super underwhelming. Yeah, I only died once or twice here, his moves are super telegraphed and he has no one to help him, so I smack him just hard enough to end the game and help him come to his senses to have a redemption arc. Ding trophy, well, trophies and roll credits. God, I love stacking difficulty trophies, so satisfying. Stage 2 is to hold off on challenge mode for now and simply go back and grab all the collectibles I previously missed. There was my 40th and final Zoni, my 21st and final Constructo modification, and also handing in all the RYNO holoplans for the RYNO. Not a trophy, but it will make the rest of the trophies much easier. Well, almost all of them. But the final gold bolts, they're locked behind some incredibly tough Clank clone conundrums. I tried doing them myself, but then did the trophy hunter thing of look up how to do them on YouTube, and just followed what they did to complete my gold bolt collection. Alright, time for Lord Vorselon part 3, yes, the post-game boss. And I ripped through him like paper, thanks to the RYNO. And when the RYNO ran out of ammo, find a conveniently placed ammo crate and continue RYNOing him to smithereens. Bonus points if you upgrade the RYNO during the fight so ammo refills automatically. God, I love this game. Lombax 3, Vorselon 0, gold trophy acquired 1. After a short detour to the Insomniac Museum, it was time to return to the arena one last time. To play a video game within a video game. My blaster runs hot. The goal is simple. Hit 10,000 points. Simple, but excruciatingly difficult. This is the trophy that stops nearly 95% of people from platinuming this game. Don't get me wrong, I love twin stick shooters, but this game is massively RNG heavy past wave 5, and the game in general is just hard as balls. Every attack is a one-hit kill, extra lives are scarce, you have hardly any lives to begin with, and whilst the power-ups are super powerful, they're also super rare and can be a double-edged sword. After 3 whole hours of showing clear improvement but dying over and over again and clearly getting no closer to the goal, there were 2 glimmers of hope. The first is that waves 1 to 4 are super easy to score around 2,000 points with, leaving only 8,000 points left to get. The second is that this is the only part of A Crack in Time that supports 2 players. Unfortunately, this requires a second person. Luckily for me though, I hold a rare superpower among YouTube content creators, the power to talk to women respectfully. And as a result of this phenomenon, I have acquired what we in the industry call a wife. Even luckier for me, my wife also has an incredibly rare superpower among women called listening to her husband. With my coaching and her ability to shoot things and not die, mostly, and the fact that teammates can revive each other when they fall over, this trophy suddenly became a lot easier. And actually the game became way more fun too. We did this on the 3rd attempt for 10,000 points combined, earning us the trophy. My blaster runs really, really hot. Shout out to my wife. So after all that hullabaloo, it's time for stage 3, challenge mode. But at this point the upgraded RYNO makes the whole game an absolute joke, and showing you any more footage than this would just be a waste of your time. I rip Azimuth a new one for the 2nd time, completing challenge mode for a glutton for punishment, and the Lombax triumphant Platinum Trophy, becoming the ultimate clock blocker. Thanks for watching, go left for more Ratchet & Clank goodness, or go right to see what the YouTube gods are offering you. See you next week for Into the Nexus.